it is gswiz here, and I'm here today to do the very first book haul I've pretty much done in around a year and a half. I barely purchased any books last year, so I didn't really have any frequent book hauls, and I actually don't even remember some of the books that I purchased last year because it was a very rare occurrence. Whereas this year, I have gotten back onto the train of buying books. It feels good because I feel like myself again, but also due to what I was going through last year, I felt like it's given me some sort of restriction when it comes to my book buying habit, which is good. So without further ado, I'm going to show you some of the books that I bought this year. The first two books that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that I purchased that I have not mentioned on my channel yet are The Heart of Betrayal and The Beauty of Darkness, both by Mary E. Pearson. These are the second and the third books in the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. I read the first 3 chapters of The Kiss of Deception, quite enjoying myself while reading it. I know a lot of people say that it's a very bingeable trilogy, so I decided I was gonna treat myself. Let's be real, a lot of these are treats. And purchase these. I think my mom was doing a US Amazon order, and there's usually a criteria of how much you're meant to spend in order to get free shipping if you're with Amazon Prime here. And I just thought to myself, I never see these in Australian bookstores, so I'm gonna get those. That's what I did. They're here. It took them ages to get here. I just realized that there's damage. That's called import damage right there. We don't get things pretty here in Australia. At least I have them. At least I have them. Next lot of books I'm gonna show you guys will be the new Hunger Games covers, or dare I say it, the actual old Hunger Games covers by Suzanne Collins. Now, I just wanted to get The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes to match my Hunger Games books. I know it's a really bad habit of mine. I just need my books to match desperately. I really don't know how to justify this. Anyway, I got the first Hunger Games trilogy. The first Hunger Games trilogy. Wow. I mean, the one and only Hunger Games trilogy in a box set. On top of that, I bought The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the new Hunger Games prequel. I could have waited till October to buy the combined box set, but I just figured that it was actually cheaper to buy this box set. I took advantage of it and I bought them all. Do I regret purchasing this one? I don't know. I might reread it in the future. It wasn't the greatest prequel. We could have gotten better. Sorry, Susie. The next book I present to you guys today will be The Night of the Dragon, which is the third book in the Shadow of the Fox trilogy by Julie Kagawa. This is the last book of the trilogy. I just read Soul of the Sword. I can't deal. I don't want one more book. I want more books, but that's okay. This series is really good so far. It's very funny because a lot of people say that this is probably the closest YA book they find to kind of replicate the anime style of storytelling. When I first read Shadow of the Fox, I was only just getting into anime. I could tell exactly what they were talking about because the way that it is written, it is very vivid and you can picture it very well. I'm so bitter that this hasn't turned into a TV show yet. I'm bitter that it hasn't probably even turned into a movie yet. I need it. I cannot wait to read the third book. I hope it really doesn't disappoint me. I really hope that it doesn't leave me wanting for more. I just want to be satisfied. I really do. Julie Kagawa has become one of my favorite authors and I've only read 2 of her books so far. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Serpent Dog. Oh my gosh, guys, this book matches my nails. I only just realized how cool is that. This book I've talked about on my channel. It's a book that I enjoyed, but it also makes me very angry and very bitter. But that being said, do I regret purchasing it? No. Am I going to be reading the sequel? Yes. Do I think that it is a very questionable book? Absolutely. But this book got me thinking a lot and it's left such a weird impact on me. Alongside that, I purchased another book called Sophies World by Justine Gardner. Yes, Bae, you're looking at me because you're the one who told me to buy it. Yeah. Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, Camilla's in the room. I'm trying to keep my cool because like I do not know how to film in front of people unless they are in the video with me. So if I'm acting all awkward, that's probably the reason why. Anyway, getting back to talking about Sophies World. I love this book. If you don't necessarily know too much about philosophy, but you want to have some sort of introduction, free fiction, Sophies World is the way to go. I talked about it in my March wrap up and I absolutely loved it. It's probably one of my favorite books of the year so far and I kind of want to reread it now. The next book I got a haul today, I feel a little bit guilty about because I keep on telling everybody I need to read the first book in this series because everybody was on the hype train when it came out and I feel so bad that I was not on the hype train, meaning that I purchased it, I just never picked it up. I still haven't picked it up and that's obvious because I'm talking about book 2 and I still feel bad that I didn't pick up book 1. I keep on thinking that this book is called Starlight when it's called Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Claim the Stars series. I've always been somewhat interested in reading Skyward since it came out. I purchased Skyward almost straight away. Then when I saw Starsight, I'm like, you know what? You gotta be in my collection collection too. But it always settles in to me that I was one of the first people to buy the book and just never read it. You know what? This happens with me all the time. There's so many series on my shelf that I am so excited to read, but I just haven't gotten to them yet. I think it's because of what I went through last year, not being able to read anything. I'm just getting back into the habit, I'd say. Moving on, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. First of all, everybody has been raving about the design that Charlie Bowater has given the cover. Same with The Enchantment of Ravens, except it is a very popular opinion to actually like this book when it is not a very popular opinion to like An Enchantment of Ravens. I don't know if it's because the romance is written in a better way or if it's because it has to do with a library or a librarian girl. I don't know. I've started this book and did not continue on. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I really wanted to read this one for a while, and it's funny because I thought that this was going to be a series, but turns out it is a standalone. And I'm not usually one to purchase standalones too often, only because I like being able to connect with the character for a very long time and see the story continue. I'm hoping that I get satisfied within this book alone because I know a lot of people are. If we're talking about fantasy series again, I'm going to be bringing up Bane, which is the second book in the Furyborn series. No, that's not what it's called. It's called the Imperium trilogy. How sophisticated is that? The spine is just gorgeous. I also love how underneath every single one of the book covers, they're all different colors. Underneath Furyborn, it's red. Underneath Bane, as you saw, it's white. I have a feeling that Lightbringer, which is the third book, might just have a black naked book. First of all, aesthetically pleasing. Second of all, I read Furyborn a few years back. I'd say back in, was it 2018? I did enjoy it, but I wasn't at that reading level yet where I just wanted to read something that was new adultish. Now that I really think about it, my reading tastes have changed. They've kind of advanced, and so I kind of really do want to reread Furyborn. Anyway, I've already talked about this, but Bane, that's what inspired me to buy it, and that's what inspired me to continue on with this series. Because at first I was thinking, maybe I want to unhold this book. But then when I really think about it, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more even now. The next book that I've got to talk about today, I snatched up on Amazon for $9. And it's one of my favorite books ever, and I decided to buy it in hardback because that was a steal. An absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green. I've talked about this book on my channel a billion times, and I have it in hardback. I'm gonna reread it, but I just want to rave about how I got the hardback for $9 and you can't get it again, because these kind of hardbacks for like non-young adult books in Australian dollars would probably be like around $33. That is how much the sequel is going for right now. It will probably be worth it. I'm really excited for the second book, but at the same time, $35? Now I'm going to mention a new release that I haven't read yet, and I've been really excited to read it. Shout out to Pages with Paige, who told me that she was so angry at this book that she threw it to the other side of the room. Now I'm very curious. Aurora Burning is the second book in the Aurora Cycle trilogy. A lot of people have been raving about it, and I got that comment from Pages with Paige. So all I'm thinking right now is this would have probably left some sort of a weird impact on people. A lot of people have been talking about the ending, and there have been spoilers without context all over my Twitter feed, and I've been living for it because there hasn't been that much content or that many books coming out during this time. So to see BookTube or Book Twitter rave about something again has been making my heart fill with joy, because it's like we never hit COVID where there are barely any new releases. But I'm happy that this released. It's on my winter TBR. Hopefully I can make a promise to read this one. Another book that I recently purchased is Tyler Johnson Was Here by J Maas. I wanted to read this one for a very long time. I remember hearing about this back either in 2018 or 2017 when it first came out. There are so many other books that I also want to read by African American authors as well, or just even from Black Indigenous people of color in general. But one that I've always wanted to check out was Tyler Johnson Was Here. I also talked about it in my 7 on Sunday video. It has to do with Black Indigenous people of color if you guys want to check that out as well. But yes, I wanted to read this one for a while. I need to get back onto a contemporary kick. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I just need to go with it. Next book I'm going to be talking about is Cursed by Frank Miller and by Thomas Wheeler. I'm pretty sure Frank Miller is the person who illustrated this and Thomas Wheeler is the person who wrote it. I mean, it obviously says that on the cover. The illustrations are gorgeous. It's really funny to talk about him like he's not in the room, but Camilo bought this for me. And I'm thankful for that. I got really excited about it. I saw it in the bookstore. I'm like, oh, I love it. And then we pretty much bought books for each other, and it was an amazing day. I'm really excited to get to this one. This one is going to be adapted into a Netflix series, I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure if it's out already or if it's coming out very soon. And once again, it's on my winter TBR. I want to read it before I watch the adaptation. A book that kind of deals with a similar premise to Cursed is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. I've wanted to read this for a while. Boston, You're the Reason Why this book is here. Yes, I've wanted to read it for a while, based off of Boston's tweets about it, and I've heard mixed reviews about it since. It was her read-along tweets that convinced me that this book was for me, and I still need to read it, but I haven't yet. This is the first book in the Camelot Rising series. The second book is coming out this year, and I want to catch up once again on my winter TBR. Really excited to get to this one. I'm pretty sure that's in my frame. That's dangerous. One last book before we get to the extremely funny, exciting part of the haul. I'm gonna be talking about Ignite by Caitlin Davis. This book I found on Amazon temporarily for like $7. I'm pretty sure they were trying to clear it out of the Australian warehouse, and the new prints were going to be produced by Amazon US. So I saw it, I was just like, you know what? I wanna buy it. From what I know, Caitlin Davis is an Amazon bestseller. I'm pretty sure this is a self-published book. I see them every single time I go onto Amazon, and they are in my suggestions. The audiobooks are also on Scribd, and I'm really excited to get stuck into the audiobooks as well. In fact, actually, I heard about Caitlin Davis through her new release that is coming out. I think it's called Raven and Dove. Sounds almost similar to Serpent and Dove, but Raven. And then I saw that she offered a few other books. It was too cheap to resist. So, a lot of you guys know about this book right here, Crescent City by Sarah J Maas, which is, no, that is the common mistake I keep on making. See, in big words, it says Crescent City, and you think that the first book is named Crescent City, but it's not. Crescent City is the name of the series, but it's in bigger words. So I'm like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna be talking about Crescent City from Sarah J Maas. That's the series name. So let me correct myself for the billionth time. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas in the Crescent City series. I've noticed a difference between the US and the UK hardbacks. Their spines are different. Anybody with the US spine, the title is usually this way. But you know, I have the UK one where the words are pretty big. And you know what? I actually like this stuff. You know what? It's been such a long time since I've read this book, and I really want to reread it because it was a really good book. Christine from Paul and Bananas Books, I recently watched her review on it. Old feelings came back of the tears that I shed while reading this book, because this book, to a lot of us who have read it, was very impactful and it was very overwhelming. I just want to reread it for that reason, because it made me feel a lot. I think a lot of the fandom get it, and I cannot wait for the next book, and I just, like I said a billion times, I want the series to go on forever. Yo, speaking about Sarah J Maas, my card slipped today, meaning like, you know, my debit card slipped today. I'm 100% that chick. Did I intend on buying the paperbacks? No, I didn't. I intended on buying the hardbacks. But when I think about it, the hardbacks are actually a lot more boring than the paperbacks because they're gray and they have a little bit of color, but they don't really color block that much. I've been seeing Twitter posts all over my Twitter feed this week about how these book covers are, first of all, ugly. Second of all, how these covers make the series look like it has a bunch of culture, but it doesn't. And you know what? I 100% agree with the second statement. Yes, these book covers deserve to go to an author who it would suit better, because the story does not suit the covers and the covers do not suit the story. However, I cannot deny that I actually do like the covers. I wouldn't be so mad if the covers had something to do with the story. Like, for example, this cover right here, I think that the wolf would have belonged onto A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't know about A Court of Thorns and Roses. We could have literally had Thorns and Roses on this cover. That would have suited it better. But no, what did we get for A Court of Mist and Fury? We got an eagle. What does that have to do with it? Am I missing something? And then you have A Court of Wings and Ruin, which has a pretty badass cover, but maybe this book would have deserved maybe some wings on it, and maybe we wouldn't be mad. And then for A Court of Frost and Starlight, we have a flower. We couldn't have Frost or Starlight. I get that everybody is mad about these covers. And you know what? I understand. But do I like the covers beside the fact that they do not match the story? Yeah, I do. That is my opinion. I have bought these books, especially because I want my future books to match the rest of the series. I am kind of sad that they changed the covers midway through the series. So that's what I have to say about it. We're moving on to The Witcher. So I've talked about this on my Twitter. This is the first time I really binge bought a series in a very long time because I've really wanted to read it for so long. So I'm pretty sure that these first two books are the books that you read first, and then you continue on with this series, like, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this right here, I'm pretty sure that's the prequel and that's meant to be read last. Anyway, so I've googled the reading order a billion times. Now I just need to read the series. Yeah, I guess I'm trash on a whole nother level here. I have the first 7 volumes of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. That means that I have the first part right here, Phantom Blood. This follows Jonathan Joestar, who is the very first Joestar we follow in the series. I mean, obviously it's part 1. The second part here is known as Battle Tendency, and we are following the second JoJo of the series, Joseph Joestar. And this is one of my favorite parts in the entire JoJo's Bizarre Adventure compilation. I've decided to collect this series. I didn't necessarily buy these were actually an anniversary gift for me from Camilo. I've got a long way to go. So right now, I've just really got to focus on reading them. I think I'm always too scared to read too many of them before I run out of them, and I really need to stop focusing on that fear and just get into reading them. So these next books are pretty heavy. I don't know if I can carry these with one hand. I'm doing it! I'm really going to have to massage my hand muscles after this. I have the first 4 deluxe editions of Berserk. Technically, Camilo and I are sharing the first one because I actually gave the first one to him for his birthday last year, and then since then we've just been collecting them together. Nope, okay, I'm not gonna risk that anymore. I'm just gonna carry them with my arms, not my hand. If you guys don't know, I'm obsessed with the series. I've talked about it a billion times on my channel, and I always grill myself for not continuing on with the series. If I don't finish or catch up to Berserk, I don't give you permission to spoil me. People who spoil me will be blocked from my channel, period. But you are allowed to grill me for not finishing it. Now we've moved on to the final author of the haul, who take up 11 books in the haul. So I guess I would say it all started when I read Chain of God by Cassandra Clare. If you guys don't know, this is the UK edition, printed by Walker Books. I think from now on, they're gonna start printing the Cassandra Clare editions in hardbacks like this that look like library copies. To be honest, I don't want to collect the rest of them, but I'm happy with this one because it looks good either way. It all started when I purchased this and I was reading it. I'd say I woke up at around 3 a.m. in the morning, and I woke up craving reading the rest of Chain of God by Cassandra Clare, and so I did that. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I decided to spend around 2 or 3 hours finishing this book, and then that's when I realized that this series I am in love with. I love the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I've been talking about it for a very long time. I think I've grown from a just like relationship to an absolutely love and adore and I will do anything for it relationship. It's funny, it took me like 6 years of reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles to come to this revelation. I decided I wanted to collect all of the hardback editions, which are technically almost the first editions of every one of Cassandra Clare's books in the matching hardbacks. And even though this is not really one of those matching ones, I still want to keep it because I still have a sentimental attachment to it. I forgot to show this. I don't know if the other hardback, I should probably check, has this or not, but regardless, that is just gorgeous and I'm obsessed with it. This edition also came with these character cards and they are so cool. So speaking of Chain of God, no guys, you're not seeing double. This is literally what I have. I can't get rid of this one because I have a sentimental attachment to it. At the very same time, I wanted all my books to match. Yeah, so I have the collector's first edition from 2 different publishers. The Moment of Truth. Is it here? Yes, we have it, except this one's not glossy. And this one is not kind of like a library bound one. This kind of looks like all of the rest of Cassandra Clare's book. But I'm really happy I have it. I cannot believe that at 3 a.m. in the morning when I read it, I came to the realization that I just love Cassandra Clare. And I think that I just want to keep collecting her books in the same editions from now on. Yeah, I guess that's what I do when I'm really passionate about an author. Getting back to talking about 1800s London, I'm gonna be talking about this series right here. Yes, I finally have one of my favorite series from Cassandra Clare in hardback. This is the Infernal Devices trilogy, which starts off with Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. I love this trilogy. I don't think I'm ever really gonna change my mind. I have a sentimental attachment to it. I'm very happy with these purchases. Of course, there's another trilogy that I've collected, and that, my friends, is the Dark Artifices trilogy, which takes place after the Mortal Instruments series. I will not be hauling the Mortal Instruments in this haul because my delivery got lost and I'm still very much bitter about it. I'm really excited to get them, but they've shipped out a replacement. Hopefully between the United States of America and Australia, they don't get lost again. Yeah, so I have the Dark Artifices series, which consists of Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and finally, one of the most beautiful covers ever, Queen of Air and Darkness. I love these books so much. I already have them in like their special Waterstones editions, which no one can get anymore. Trash is pretty much the only word for it. The final 2 matching editions from Cassandra Clare that I have. Bear in mind, once again, another book has been lost in transit. That is the Bane Chronicles. I do not have the Bane Chronicles yet. I have ordered that one. It's probably gonna take another month to get here, so that's sad. But I have the other novella collections, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy and The Ghost of the Shadow Market. I love both of these novella collections. Even though the Bane Chronicles was a good read, these 2 are kind of my faves. I think I prefer this one, but I did enjoy this one. I'm just happy to have these in my collection, honestly. And the final book that I have to mention is starting to become a very hot commodity. I actually do not have the original cover of this book because the original cover does not match with the next book in the series, and I will be buying the new editions from now on, but I do have the Waterstones edition. I'm really excited for it. That is the Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare. I found this in a store last week. The one time I leave my house, I find it. It was the last one. Unfortunately, the spine has a little bit of damage on it. But when you've been looking for this book for a very long time, after you started reading again, it becomes very exciting to you when you realize that you haven't fully missed out. There is one more chance. I took the chance, I purchased it, and I'm very much satisfied with my purchase. That is gonna be it for this book haul today, book lovers. In the description, I've left links where you can donate, or you can sign petitions, or you can find out more on how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm still leaving those links down in the description for you guys to do that, so that you could either spread the word or you can help the cause yourself. It would mean a lot to me if you would help out in that. You can also follow me in my social medias. I'm at itsgswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also at Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.